The Feast of the Intercession of the Holy Theotokos, together with the fullness of the Orthodox Church, we're experiencing the power of the Theotokos prayers for the whole world. Are internally transported to those times when the events that form the foundation of this day took place. This includes the salvation of the capital of the Christian East, Constantinople, from the invaders. It also includes the famous campaign of Andrei Bogolubsky and the miracle of the Theotokos icon, which took place here, on the land where we are now standing, in Bulgar, in the 12th century, serving as the impetus for the understanding and celebration of this day. Of course, we must also remember the mid-16th century, when, by the command of the Theotokos, our people became the executors of the apostolic mission and under her guidance carried the apostolic service to the east. This occurred after the annexation of Kazan and the appearance of the miraculous icon of the Theotokos in the Kazan region. We can recall other glorious pages of our great history, and among them are many that can be summed up by saying this: through the praise of the Most Holy Theotokos, the merciful Lord, more than once or twice showed mercy to our people, saving all humanity, which often drove itself to the brink of eternal destruction. God's laws are immutable, and no one can change them. The Lord has arranged the world so that our happiness, or what we choose instead of it, is in our own hands, in the hands of our free will, and through our way of life, often by rejecting God, committing sins, and drowning in joyless vanity, we not only destroy ourselves and cast ourselves into hell while still alive, but we also heroically poison the lives of those around us. We jealously and with all our might drag our entire people and all humanity into the abyss of eternal destruction. But through the prayers of those who truly love God, the Lord performs miracles. He reverses the course of His laws, and even when it seems like all is lost and hopeless cross can be placed upon us, when it seems like it's the end, God shows mercy, and we see how the world is given time for repentance, salvation, and renewal. This, my dear ones, is what the Feast of the Intercession of the Most Holy Theotokos testifies to. The protection of the Theotokos over us and the power of her prayers is truly astonishing. The sign that the Lord gave to our people, a sign stronger than any words, is that the prayerful protection of the Theotokos will never be taken away from us. We all know the sign. After the well-known campaign of the pious Prince Andrei Bogolubsky to Bulgar, he built a church in memory of his son, who perished during this campaign. This church was the first in the world dedicated to the intercession of the Most Holy Theotokos. The church we now call the Church of the Intercession of the Neural. It was built from stones brought from Bulgar, from the banks of the Middle Volga. But the sign lies in the fact that this church stands in the heart of Russia, which since its construction has endured countless invasions, calamities and perils, including the nightmare of 70 years of godless time, when a demonic frenzy danced across our land. Yet this church has remained untouched to this day. Nothing has destroyed it. No sacrilegious hand has touched its holy walls. This is a testimony, a sign from above, a sign from Theotokos that her protection, once spread over our motherland, will never be taken away. And this sign visible from our eyes on earth, this power both terrifies and brings joy because of its obvious presence of God. Now we're experiencing a challenging chapter of our history, just as our ancestors did, who, torn by enemies from all sides, defended our motherland and our lives, our happiness and joy, the lives of our children and grandchildren, with nothing but faith in the Lord and hope in the prayers of the Theotokos and his saints. And today, black clouds are gathering again over our God-chosen apostolic land. How many of these clouds have darkened the history of our long-suffering motherland? Who hasn't come to our land? Who hasn't tormented it? Europe, time and again, under the banners of Napoleon or Hitler, sought to tear apart the Lord's heritage and destroy the earthly domain of the Theotokos. We all remember well how these attempts ended. Where are these Napoleons and Hitlers now? Thus, on this day, we do not simply stand in prayer before the Theotokos, nor do we only look with hope toward God's mercy, which is open to us through her holy prayers. We look upon today and tomorrow with full confidence. There is no power greater than the power of God, and no mercy is no stronger than that granted through the prayers of His Mother. So today, with hope and prayer, we turn to her, our heavenly protectress, asking that, through the prayers of the Theotokos, the merciful Lord grant us the strength not only to call ourselves Orthodox Christians, but to be such in truth, in both in great and the small, in our personal lives and in public, in the family and beyond the borders of our homes, in church and outside the church grounds, to be Orthodox in everything, in word, deed, thought, and feeling, affirming ourselves in the path of God, so that His strength may reign on our land, through the transformation by the Almighty, affirming ourselves. In this way, the prophecy of many who speak to us through the ages will come true. The Lord has chosen our motherland to be a spiritual beacon for other nations. We are not better than others. In many ways, we are worse than others. But through repentance, we can set an example for others. We do not have an example of holy living, unfortunately. We speak openly and honestly, but we can and must set an example of repentance. Through this, we will lift ourselves in our motherland and set an example for this world, choking on hatred and agonizing toward destruction. This is our duty. This is our apostolic, messianic calling. This is what the Mother of God calls us today, through this day and this feast. Through her holy prayers, strengthened by them, let us stand firm, stand with reverence, and fulfill our calling and our service. Congratulations to all on the feast.